I'm Big Bob.
And I'm Ann.
What's up?
What's up, Big Bob?
What's up, Ann? How you doing?
It's a beautiful Monday. We're here to start a new week, and we got an extra hour of sleep this weekend.
Well, you might have gotten sleep. I had things to do this weekend.
So did I.
So anyways, we have a very special guest, but before we start introducing our guest, we special shout out to Brenda Ringwood, who is our executive producer, the founder of the Being the Best You Foundation, which we endorse and support. And now we can introduce our special
Everybody's special.
everybody's special, but you're more special than everybody else right now.
Definitely more special than he
That's
is.
because you're here. You're in the special little circle right now.
Well, I'm loving being special and being with special people. It's a special thing.
So, Lotus, Riche.
Lotus.
Lotus, like the flower.
Lotus,
Yes.
Riche. Where are we calling?
So you are calling into Washington, D.C., and I'm humbly happy to be a part of this amazing show.
Why, thank you very much. You got to wait until afterwards to say it was amazing.
If we weren't here, we could guarantee
Do you
it.
live in the swamp?
Actually, I don't, but I wear boots so that I can wade through the water if need be.
A lot of things in that swamp you don't want.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining. You're very, very busy and very VIP, very important person.
Yes.
That was for you. I don't know if you know what VIP meant. So, anyways, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey. Yeah.
College?
Yes, I went to college in Augusta, Georgia. Went to the University of Phoenix. I've got a couple of degrees, and I'm just happy to be a part of the folks that was able to go to college and get the degrees.
So you're a doctor now.
I do have a doctorate. I have a humanitarian doctorate and a theology doctorate, which was bestowed upon me. I've got a master's of business and I've got a psychology degree. And when I put them all together, I get to be a VIP on your show.
Very good.
Have you always had this entrepreneurial spirit?
Yes, I have, predominantly because of my parents. My parents taught me as a little child to always be self-sufficient and always give something back. And you know, when you're giving back, when you're a servant leader, it's going to typically lead you into entrepreneurship in some shape, form, or fashion.
Definitely.
You know, we haven't been doing this podcast thing very long. I think we're up to 6 or 7 people watching. But what I've discovered are successful people are the ones who want to give back the most.
Exactly.
It's almost like a key ingredient to being successful is you have a giving spirit.
Yes.
What do you give?
Every day, it's my philosophy to do at least one act of kindness. The reason being is because you get back what you put out. I put things out and I'm not looking for anything back. I'm just asking the person if they say, well, what can I do? I say, if you're in a safe position and you can help someone, then help them. I made this term and it says, gratitude is the elixir to poverty. So I'm so grateful to be able to give.
Gratitude
is the elixir to poverty. Yes.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yep.
It means if you always have your hand out and you always expect somebody to give something to you, you can never escape poverty, entitlement. Is that what it means?
No, what it means is when you're a grateful giver, being just grateful to give, That is the elixir that not only will help you overcome poverty, but will help all those that you touch overcome poverty. And I don't
I
just
love it.
mean from a financial standpoint.
No,
I mean, many of us are impoverished in our minds, we're impoverished with our emotions and with our feelings, and definitely in our pockets.
So that's
So
the
that's what
when
it
one
means.
person gives, two people receive philosophy.
Exactly.
right.
And sometimes more than the two people receive. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when we're connected to people energetically, we don't only reap and sow. People that we're connected to reap and sow. Because you know what I had to realize is that people are watching us no matter where we are. We are a living example. And when they're watching us, they sometimes will model our behaviors. So if we give with a cheerful heart, no matter what it is, it can be a French fry, it can be $1, it can be something as simple as opening the door for someone.
Exactly.
That's gratitude, and just being happy to be able to do it. Being grateful, that's the key.
You know, I'm on a one-man mission to do away with the term "you're welcome."
Mhm.
I don't like the term "you're welcome."
Mhm.
I don't think it has any meaning. So I want to replace it with "my pleasure."
Mhm.
When I open the door for somebody and they say thank you,
Mhm.
my response, "my pleasure." It is a pleasure to do something for somebody else. It's not "you're welcome,"
Mhm.
right? It's my pleasure to do it. And I just think it's a much nicer terminology is say, when I give, if I fill up your cup of coffee,
Mhm.
my pleasure,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's not "you're welcome." You don't have to say thank you. It's my
Right.
pleasure to do it.
Mhm.
If I write you a check, my pleasure.
Exactly.
If I
Really?
do so, not you.
And by the way, I'll send you my address just to make sure you send the check to the right place.
Yeah.
My pleasure. My
Yes,
pleasure. Be careful of what you ask for.
exactly. You know, Bob, I want to tell you this. I laughed when you said that because I don't like the term "you're welcome" either. We can go into all of the history of the term, the dictionary, and all that, but I rather spend our time talking about pleasure. Typically, when I open a door or something like that, right? Pleasure. I say to people, "It's my pleasure," because again, that's a part of gratitude. It's my pleasure to be able to open the door. It's my pleasure to be able to pay for your meal. It's my pleasure. Why? Because it's the opportunity to give back, and I'm in full gratitude. So I love that. We
And I am
share the
so
same mindset.
grateful. And I am so grateful that I am physically capable of opening the door for you
Exactly.
and that I appreciate my good health. I am so
Exactly.
grateful that I have the financial resources to pay for your lunch. It gives me
Exactly.
great pleasure and gratitude to know that I've been blessed to be able to help. And so
Yes.
it truly is my pleasure, my blessing. It is acknowledgement of my blessing that I can help.
And it's my pleasure to
Exactly.
interrupt here. I want to know about that big word behind you, ignites, because I've seen that on
Yes.
your website. What does that word mean for everything you do and everything you offer?
So for me, I want to share with you how the name of the company came about. After spending a few years in Japan working with people with substance use disorders and mental illness, I came back to the United States. I was in a conversation with one of my great friends, Dr. Sandra Brooks, and I said, okay, I'm going to form my company. I was already coaching and counseling and doing a lot of consulting prior to coming back to the United States. And having done it for years prior to even leaving the United States, I knew that was my path. So I said to her, I said, well, Dr. Brooks, I just want to help people. She said, well, what do you really want to do? I said, I just want to help people to just feel the power on the inside and have that light and be ignited on the inside so that it comes on the outside so that they can live a richer and freer and healthier life on the outside, just like the inside. And that's where it was birthed. Lotus Riche ignites.
I love it.
You know,
Igniting that fire, that some people might think has gone down to a cinder, but the spark is still there. And my voice and what I do and people that I connect with, we all join forces to help people have an ignite, a spark inside that ignites and it changes them from the inside out.
So, do you hang out mostly with givers versus takers?
Yes, I do.
Because I find now takers to be ugly. I don't like takers.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm going to allow you to buy me my lunch.
Yes.
Because I know it gives you pleasure to be able to buy me my lunch.
Exactly.
But if I'm always saying, buy me lunch, I don't want to hang out with that person.
Exactly.
I want to hang out with people who are willing to give and share to the best. Now, you might not be able to afford to buy me lunch.
Right.
But you got to be willing to do something.
Exactly.
Because if you're always a taker, I don't want to be around takers.
Here you go.
Thank you very
But
much. Sharing you, or Candy.
I didn't know.
but I will say this, Bob. I will say that I'm around takers and givers, because what I had to learn was that I had to learn how to receive, because oftentimes we're such givers, we don't know how to receive. And so I think sometimes with us saying, no, I got it. And it's a funny story. I'll have to tell you about the time my tire flew off my Mercedes Benz and I was chilling so hard because my tire got flat. I knew how to change it, pulled out my hydraulic jack, pumped my car up, put the tire on, and these guys kept coming. Hey, you need some help? No, I got it. I had it so well because I'm such a giver and didn't know how to take. I forgot to tighten some of the bolts on my tire and my tire flew off in oncoming traffic. Nobody got hurt, thank God. But that taught me to learn how to receive the help when the Most High sends the help our way.
I will share you my story of how I learned to receive.
Yeah.
I had just sold one of my first franchises, father and son. I'm down in Orlando. We're opening up the store, and the father has to go to a church meeting, so I'm taking the 19-year-old son out for dinner. The bill comes, and he goes to grab it. I go to grab it. We tear the bill. I say to the waitress, bring it back, give it to me. I'm a much better tipper. And she came back, she gave it to me. And he said, but you're in our town, I'm supposed to host.
Right.
And I said, yeah, but we're doing business. I'm obligated to pay. He pouted for 3 days. And I walked away from that experience saying, I have to allow him the opportunity to give.
Exactly.
I was wrong because I did not allow him the opportunity to be generous. To be a giver. I denied him that. And now if we fight for the bill, we're going to figure out a way, but I won't deny people the opportunity to give anymore.
Yeah, but with me, it's like this feeling of guilt when somebody does something for me. I'm already thinking how I can repay them so I don't feel indebted.
Right. And I think because we have been conditioned oftentimes that giving is better than receiving, we get caught up in that mindset and we put blocks on where we block people out from giving. But what I tell people when I get ready to bless them in any shape, form, or fashion, and no, I got it. I said, please don't block my blessing.
Yes.
Because I learned that. When I tell someone no, if they are wanting to give, then I am blocking the blessing, because the more that we give from a cheerful heart and gratitude, the more we're going to be blessed. I really believe in the law of attraction, and I believe in frequency, and I believe in vibration, and the vibration that the people are trying to send out of sharing with us and blessing us. We're saying, no, you keep that vibration to yourself. So we really got to be careful when we're blocking people's blessings. That's for sure.
That's true. You're telling the universe you don't want it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're also telling the universe that somebody else isn't as important as you are.
Exactly.
Are you well traveled?
That's good, Bob. I like that. I like that you said that because it makes me think that if we're saying no to somebody, they might feel like, oh, this person might feel like I can't afford it, or I'm not as good as they are, so they don't want what I have to give. That's a great point, Bob.
I had a father-in-law who never would let me pick up a tab because he's the patriarch of his family. And
Yes.
I was making good money. I could afford to do anything I want, but he would never allow me to pick up the tab.
Right.
And I thought he was trying to humiliate me and put me down by not allowing me to pick up the tab, to make me feel obligated to him and put him up on the better. So every time we went into a restaurant, I just gave the credit card to the reception when we first checked in and said, make sure you run the bill on this card, until he got the message. And he said, can I buy dinner this time, please? And I said, as long as I get to buy dinner next time.
Right.
Give me the honor
Right.
of being able to give, and I will give you the honor to be able to give.
Exactly. And that's great. You know, as a world traveler, I learned when you're in different countries too, their customs are different. So we have to be really cognizant of what the customs are. I was in Korea. I was out with a good friend of mine, and he is he's extremely wealthy. And I was out with him, and that weekend, my best friend and myself and him, we were shopping for my best friend's kids, and he was like, did you get your mom something? And I was like, no. So we went shopping, got the kids stuff, got my mom stuff, and he paid for everything. So then we go to this tea place, and the one box of tea was a little shy of $100, maybe 70 something, 80 something bucks. I don't know.
Are you sure it was tea?
Yeah, it was tea. It was definitely tea.
You know, they grow other stuff there too besides tea.
I know, right? But it was definitely tea, right? And so I wanted the tea, but I didn't want for him to pay for it. So I went up to the register because it was for me. I went up to the register and I gave them my credit card, and I evidently hurt his feelings, but I didn't know it. And I had to understand the customs in other countries. So I really started to pride myself on making sure that when I'm traveling here or there, I understand what the customs are, because sometimes you can offend a person when they're trying to do a kindness for you and you reject them. So I love that you brought this up. So not only are we talking about the United States, but we're talking about all around the world, just to have that extra grace and allow people to bless us and don't block their blessing. Because when we block their blessing, I think we also block our blessing as well.
See, you started this whole thing by opening a door.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be $100 box of tea.
Exactly.
Just a simple gesture of opening a door for somebody else.
Yep.
Allow them the pleasure of giving.
Exactly. And that's huge.
Right. So
that's huge.
You coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is your client base? What is your typical client like?
So I have clients around the world. My average client is the business owner who is providing a service, whether it's translating in different languages, whether it's providing health and wellness, if they're an author, a speaker, a trainer. So I have a myriad of clients in a facet, so many different categories. And what I do with them is I help them get in the right area so that they're connecting with the clients who are ready, willing, and able to purchase their products. Some of the clients they're going after the low-hanging fruit, but many of my clients, they have high ticket items. They host conferences, they host summits worldwide. I just did a conference in Africa, boots on the ground in Africa, 3-day event. And then we went out and we fed people in Nigeria, Africa. And that's a part of the organization that I am the co-founder of. But many of the people that were there, some are my clients, some are not, and they do business all around the world.
So you're not an event planner?
No, we don't plan events. We do work with corporations that if they're having an event, we'll come in, we'll help them with their marketing, their management, and things of that nature. Like I've got an event I'm going to be going to this coming weekend, and I'll be helping do some video and take some pictures, but I won't be there working in that capacity. This is just something I'm doing because I love this person. I want to help them do what they
Do
need
you
to do.
coach teams or do you coach individuals?
So I do coach teams and I coach individuals. With corporations, I go in, I'm DISC trained. So are you familiar with the DISC assessment?
Of course.
Okay, I figured you are. So I'll go into a corporation. If they're having a problem with their staff, I'll go in and we'll find out what the pain points are. And I help structure ways to help them address them and overcome them. And then I go back and we get an analysis of how did it serve you? What has changed? How has the business profited from it? If there were any losses incurred. Because it's really important to have the right person slotted with the right job and the right team. You know, you can have two excellent team members, but they just cannot get along.
Right.
But then you bring the right person in, me, and I come in because I do have a psychology degree and a master's in business, and I blend the psychology of life and business with the business, right? And then I sit down and I talk to them and I find out what's going on. And then we cultivate an environment where they can do better for themselves first, for the relationship, and for the business, so that the bottom line, the company really sees the change in the bottom line.
So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this week.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Business
My
has
business,
nothing to do
right.
with
And
that.
happy anniversary.
Thank you. And my brother and I have been partners since the beginning of time. And he's an accountant.
Yes.
And he's the managing partner.
Uh-huh.
I'm the majority, but he's the managing partner.
Yes.
He's risk adverse.
Uh-huh.
I am not.
Right.
We might need some counseling. So
And he's probably a D-style person, and oftentimes people in those positions, they have to be, because that's what we pay them for. We pay
Right.
them to take care of our money.
right. Oh, and he's spectacular. He's the world's best at taking care of the money.
Yeah.
World's best. But when strategic planning comes, what are we going to look like 5 years from now?
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
Or how do we reinvest our current resources into the future?
Right.
We have some heated discussions from time to time.
Well, you said a great word, discussions. Discussions are great to have because he can hear your side, you can hear his side, and then you can meet somewhere in the middle where it's going to be an asset for the company as a whole. And then you're going to relieve some stress, because I work with people on stress, like my book, and I'm going to share this with you. Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life and Win.
What time out?
Yeah.
Brenda, can we put a graphic up there and when we edit it? So
Sure.
we make sure we,
Sure.
yeah. Okay.
So my book, Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life and Win, it helps you to harness your thoughts, take the reins, control your life, and get rid of the stress. And that's a part of what you and your brother can do by having these simple conversations that you just talked about. So good on you.
How affordable are you?
I am very affordable to those who can afford me.
One of our favorite expressions is when somebody comes to us and we say, we choose not to afford that.
A long-term project.
We choose not to afford that.
Yes.
Instead of saying can't afford it, we choose not to afford it.
Right.
Right.
I think it's important that when people feel that they can't afford something, and I coach and consult people in that regard, because when we look at our lifestyles, a lot of times we'll go out and buy all kind of expensive sneakers and cars and all manner of things. But when it comes to our business, we want to cut corners. So I help to create a process for people so that not only can they afford to do it, they can't afford not to do it. That makes sense to you? Now, I'm not for every company. Say again?
You're preaching to the choir.
There we go.
If business is struggling, gather all your acorns and hold on to them very carefully.
Mhm.
If business is doing pretty good,
Yes.
look at some opportunities. But
Right.
when you're growing and making money like gangbusters,
Yes.
reinvest,
Exactly.
reinvest, reinvest. Don't hoard, right?
Exactly.
That's the only time. Because if you're not growing
Right.
and you become stagnant, and
Yes.
stagnant is halfway down the ladder to the bottom,
Exactly.
right? So you got to keep growing or you fall down.
What is it?
I agree. And don't be afraid to ask for help. And this is one thing that I teach my clients. Ask for help when you need help. Don't wait until you feel like it's too late or you're at the bottom or that you're at the end. Ask for help because, I really believe great mentors need great mentors. But the only way you're going to get a great mentor is if you ask. And a lot of people, Bob, they stop because they say, well, maybe I can't afford a Les Brown or whatever. But I pick up the phone and I call. Hey, can Les do this? Hey, can so-and-so do that? You don't know what you don't know until you know that you don't know. And
I will share, I'll
Yeah.
share with you one of the things that I try to teach everybody.
Mhm.
Get your line of credit when you don't need it,
Exactly.
right? When you have plenty of money, you go to the
Yes.
bank and you
Yes.
establish a big line of credit because the
Yep.
day comes you need to borrow money.
Yep. That's
Everyone-
not the time. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like we said, when
Yep.
things are going good,
Yep.
that's when you.
And I'm happy you said that, Bob. You and I are going to have a show, and we've talked about this before a little bit, because I tell people that I do business with and my clients, establish a relationship with your banker. And that's basically what you're saying. Establish that relationship before you need that relationship and cultivate it over time. Don't just have the relationship and just let them fall off the planet. You don't have to call the person every day or what have you, but cultivate the relationship. It's like courting, court that relationship and keep it in good standing. Great standing, actually.
Next time we break bread together, I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 banking stories that will blow you away because the way banking was done 40 years ago
Yes.
is a lot different than the way it's being done now.
Oh, I'm curious. You kind of alluded to this earlier, but do you have a mentor with whom you work?
I do. I have a couple of mentors. In fact, one of my mentors, and that I've watched and that I've looked at for a very long time, is Dr. Eric Thomas. Okay, I think he's an extraordinary person. So I'll be looking to do some training and coaching with him. I've been on platforms with him. I received a Global Civility Award at the same ceremony that he was at. Of course, Mr. Les Brown, I've talked with him on a number of occasions.
He's
and
amazing.
he's given me great insight. And I know this might sound really weird, but Dennis Rodman, I've had the opportunity to sit and talk with Dennis Rodman at the same event that Dr. Eric Thomas was at. I ended up meeting Dennis Rodman and I was eating, and I was helping this young boy because I sponsored young children to go to this event to meet a lot of professionals and superstars and connect with people just like Dennis Rodman. Well, anyway, we're eating. Dennis Rodman's at the restaurant, and this young boy that I was helping, his dad was there. We met with Dennis Rodman and we talked, and Dennis said, I like you. And I was like, great, because he's always been someone that I admired. I'm a basketball player myself, and I've been very familiar with NBA players, WNBA players, had them at some of my events, and I've been to some of their homes. But Dennis Rodman is somebody I admire because he took the time to sit down with this 11-year-old author, and he gave him some wisdom and told me to record, and I've recorded it. And every now and then, I just played it again last week. So I really look up to him because of the zeal, the knowledge, and the free-hearted love that he showed and compassion for this young mind. So outside of that, on the celebrity side, I have Miss Martha High. She sang with have you heard of this gentleman? He's called the King of Soul, or yeah, the King of Soul, Mr. James Brown, or the Godfather of Soul.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wait,
I think.
I got a funny story to tell you about
Yeah.
this.
Well, Miss High is one of the people that I look up to. I look up to her. I respect her, and she's been on my show a couple of times. And then I have some people that are near and close to me, like Terrence Leffridge. You've met Terrence Leffridge, Mr. Showell, Velton Showell, and a few others that I really look up to. But I do have people that coach me directly and train me.
That's awesome.
So you're involved with the foundation, becoming
Yes.
the Best You Foundation.
Yes.
Why? Why did
Well,
you choose that? You must be hit on all the time. You get involved with a new charity every day, every week.
yes.
Why did you choose this one?
How did you and Brenda meet?
So actually, I met Brenda because I was speaking at a conference, and I believe my brother from another mother, Dr. Michael Freeland, he was having a conference, and I met Brenda. I believe it was there that I met Brenda, and we just clicked. She's an outstanding person, and then I met her again. I was emceeing an event for Brenda, not for Brenda, for Jill Reynolds up in Branson, Missouri. And Brenda was there again. And again, we just hit it off so well. And at one of the events, when I went to see Dr. Michael Freeland, we'd gone out for dinner, Brenda and I and Angie, and we just had such a warm and wonderful conversation. And she told me about her life story, about the times where she was incarcerated. She told me about her highs and lows. And the average person is not going to tell you deep things that the other people can take away and point the finger. But she was very open and transparent. And from that moment to this moment, we have really, really become close. She's a friend and she's a sister. And if she's endeavoring to do something and she says, "Hey, Doc, what are your thoughts?" And we have those conversations. I'm direct and clear with her what my thoughts are. And when she talked about this movement, because that's what it is, why wouldn't I want to be a part of helping people all around the world become better at who they can become? Not do what the theys tell them, but become the best the best them that they could be. Because guess what? When someone sees their light shining, they're going to want to become better too. And so that's why I said, of course, count me in. I'm on board.
I think I was seduced the exact same way.
Yes.
And partly because who wouldn't want to be a better version of themselves?
Exactly.
I don't want to be you. I don't want to be Brenda, and I certainly don't want to be Ann.
No,
But
Yes.
I want to be a better me. I want to be a better me.
Yes.
And in some ways, I'm already probably close to the best version of who I can become.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I can be
And what did you say?
I could be healthier.
Work in
Yes.
progress.
I could eat better.
Yes.
I could be more spiritually attuned
Mhm.
with the complexity of my spirit,
Yes.
the emotions.
Mhm.
I could learn how to give back more, learn how to
Yes.
give back faster, learn
Yes.
how to give back better, and serve.
Mhm.
Right? Look. I've always said somebody has to discover the water.
Yes.
Somebody has to dig the well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can carry the water back to the village.
Exactly.
Right? You don't need a special gift to serve the community.
That's
You
right.
just got to put the water in the buckets, put it on your shoulders, and carry it back. Everybody should be able to help the village this way.
That's right.
And it's, I built a well. I protected the well.
Yes.
Now it's my turn to let somebody else do those important jobs.
Yep.
Now my job is to carry the water, as much water as I can for the village. And
Awesome.
her organization
Hmm.
has empowered me to be
Yep.
able to give back, not my way,
Yes,
but any way you need to get better.
exactly.
That's what I'm doing.
And that's great. And so, Ann, I want to ask you the same thing that Bob asked me. What made you become a part of it? Because I know viewers all around the world are looking at us going, wow, that's impactful. And so they want to hear from Ann too.
Nah,
I don't have much to
that's why it's
say.
called Big Bob and Ann.
Big Bob, dot, 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 dot. Oh, yeah.
Ann.
And Ann.
Wait, maybe we should do that. Big Bob Ann.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ann. All
Big
right.
Bob and Ann. Ampersand Ann. Okay, Ann. We're gonna stop fooling around.
Go ahead, tell me your life story.
I don't have a life story.
That's why she never
very-
talks. She's very boring.
Exactly.
Her gift is to zing me.
Yeah,
That's her
Does
gift.
it you?
No, I could sit here and say I've been published over 25,000 times, and I have a master's in business and an undergraduate in communications and a master's in legal studies. I've written 9 books, hosted 3 talk radio shows, spoken and shared the stage with Bob and Elizabeth Dole. But that's all boring. I just write every day. And
This is the highlight of her day.
is coming in here. No, the highlight of my day is going to the grocery store.
The highlight of her day is getting out of here, going home.
Okay, no, you want to know really the biggest accomplishment? I know this sounds so cliche, but as I was getting my MBA, I had 3 sons. And those 3 sons, one's a doctor, one's going to be a doctor, and one's an art director for pharmaceutical companies. And that, to me, having steered and guided them and done all the work to get them in that direction, has been the coolest thing. I know this sounds really weird, but
No.
when my oldest got
No.
married,
That's great.
my oldest got
No.
married in May, and when the priest turned them around to face the audience and they said, I present to you Dr. and Mrs. Alec Butinas, I nudged my husband and I started to cry. And it sounds so arrogant, but it was like, I earned that too, because I helped you get there. And that was the coolest thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's helping him become the best that he can be. And then check this out. He touched her life and she touched his life. Now they're married. Now his family, through her, is being touched. And they are seeing the example of becoming the best that they can be through him. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, but you got to understand, she's not going to be a very good mother-in-law. She's going to be a terrible mother-in-law.
Why is that?
I don't believe that. I don't believe
She's going to insist that the wife learns her recipes for cooking turkey. She's going to say, no, you got to hold the baby this way.
No.
But Bob, that's cool though, because if she goes to their home for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner and she cooks the turkey her way, then she knows that the turkey's going to be good.
Right.
I know of some people who've left the giblets in the turkey. Hello.
Not
No.
yes. She's a far superior cook to me. Hands down, she can cook better than me. She can bake better than me. I've never been much of a kitchen person. Ask me to clean a dish, I will, but I had other interests.
And in all modesty, is one of the most accomplished individuals I have the pleasure to know.
Not really.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I hope we edit this part out.
Leave that part in. Leave that part in.
Right.
Awesome.
But I'm a huge fan of Ann's. A wonderful sense of humor, great core values,
Awesome.
a huge work ethic, accomplished, hasn't been caught doing anything wrong yet.
Been caught the key.
Yeah, I heard you say accomplice. I heard that. Yeah.
How often do you travel for work? How often do you work over the Zoom?
I'm in Zoom every day. I'm in Zoom every day, but I can work from anywhere. I just flew back in from San Diego. I was out in San Diego for 3 weeks after spending some time in Florida. I was out in Florida. Then I came to Kansas at the Becoming the Best You conference. I was there right after coming back from, I think I had come back from Japan.
Wow.
So I can work from anywhere, and I'm in Zoom just about every day. Zoom should be paying me some type of royalties or something. I don't know.
Are you bilingual?
Yes. Hi. Hamimimashite. Watashi wa Lotus desu ka? That's Japanese.
Well, I
That's
guess
That's German.
I guess that-
Hablando español. See? So
Yo.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, I speak a couple of languages, enough to get me in trouble. Some more fluent than others.
Yeah, just like Brenda impresses me, you do too. It's like I don't see how
Thank
you do all this every day and keep the
With
same.
gratitude. With gratitude. That's how I start out every morning. My
Right.
team, we have prayer, giving thanks, and then each person on my team, I go to them one by one and I say, "What are you grateful for today?" And how we start, that's how we end our team.
Ask me what I'm grateful for.
Bob, what are you grateful for today?
Every morning I start my prayer with, thank you for my blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And my blessings basically are health, the well-being of my family,
Yes.
the well-being of my loved ones. Please grant me more patience, more tolerance. Allow me to be a better version of me. And that has been in my prayer
Still not
for
working.
50 years is
That's
help
awesome.
me be a better me. Help me be
Yes.
better for myself.
Yes.
And I think Brenda is part of the answer of that prayer because
Yeah.
her whole organization
Mhm.
is built on me becoming a better me.
Yes.
And I will become a better me by helping her people or strangers
Uh-huh.
maybe become a better them.
And you know what
Exactly.
adds to Brenda's credibility? 6 or 7 months ago,
Mhm.
when I put out the call to action. Hey, I need someone who knows how to do a podcast. I got this friend that wants to do one.
Well, just call me
An acquaintance, this whatever. He needs
Right.
help. And I put it on Facebook, and you know how you say, anybody know anybody that can do this for me? And granted, a lot of people said this name and that name, but her name was repeated throughout the chat stream. And I'm like,
It's because she called all her friends up and said,
I saw that post.
Put my name in there.
Right. I know how that works.
So that spoke volumes. And then I've just seen the influence that she's had
Yes.
throughout everything she's done by following her on Facebook and the people she brings on the show like you. It's like, wow.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Pardon?
You're still a young woman.
Yes.
What are your ambitions for the next 20 years?
Next 20 years, I am speaking all around the world,
Wow.
contributing to various schools, ensuring that young girls in Africa and other countries that are not allowed to get educated, like in Sri Lanka, that they will see their way to education. And I'm personally going to help finance that effort. I am working with people in India and here in the United States to help that come to fruition. So within the next 20 years, I'm looking to see children who are disenfranchised, who are kept from education, that they will experience the education that they need. I am also looking for the next 20 years to open an institute to ignite people. I don't know exactly what it all looks like now, but there will be a Lotus Riche Ignites Institute.
Wow.
where people will come and they will be taught, they will learn from people just like you, Bob, and just like you, Ann, to hear your stories and to sign up for courses where you will teach them and train them how to not only do what you've done, but to do it so expeditiously and with the level of excellence so that they don't only serve in the now, but they serve for generations to come.
If you set up this soon enough and I still have juice left, I would love to participate.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And I'm humbled and I thank you. I thank you.
And in all ways, participate.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Not
So
blocking
that's
out.
just a part of what I'm doing. And to you, Ann, I have 9 or 10 books to my credit. I'm a Guinness World Record holder for writing a book. And
What-
so
what
I'm
is-
looking forward to writing a book. And hopefully we can talk, and you, Bob, and myself and some others can go ahead and create some books where people can learn and people can be inspired and be empowered, and they can continue to be the best that they can be as they ignite their passions and their gifts in life.
Well, double back just a second to that Guinness
Yes.
World Record. Explain that. Expand
Yes.
what that is.
So in 2019, the project started, and in I believe it was 2020, I won the Guinness World Record holder for writing a book with people from all around the world. It was about 125 of us.
Wow.
Raymond Aaron was a part of that book, Chef Geiger, many celebrities were a part, non-celebrities were a part, everyday people just like you and I were a part of this book. And we shared our personal in-depth stories. Some of us just shared small pieces, but we all came together to make it happen.
That's amazing.
I will send you my one and only book that Ann wrote for me.
Okay.
If you will send me your favorite book in exchange.
Okay. Yes, I will do that. I will be happy to do that.
So you'll take one of my books. Brenda's going to take my book
Okay.
with her, and she'll bring back your book.
Okay, fantastic. That works. My
right.
favorite book is my book that I have in front of me now. I'll look and see if I have another one here. If not, I'll order one tomorrow and get it overnighted here.
All right. I'm sending you my favorite book also.
Okay, fantastic.
My only book.
You're only-
And you might not, it might be meaningless to you because it's about me and it's about how I envision the world changing after 7 or 8 and what you needed to do to survive and thrive in the new economy.
Awesome. Thank you. I welcome that. The book that I'm going to send you is Harnessing Your Thoughts. Take the reins, control your life, and win.
And by the way, a lot of
Like
pictures in my book.
No pictures in my book except on the front and my beautiful face on the back.
What's your website where people can get in contact with you and purchase your
Yes, it's www.lotusricheignitesyou.com. That's www.lotusricheignitesyou.com.
Yeah, we'll have this on the screen, and all 8 people who watch our podcast will probably respond and want to buy the book.
I love that name, though. You keep saying
Unite.
you need to think bigger. You keep saying all 6 or 8 people. Why don't you just say all 20,000 people? Then you're already there.
You have to speak into existence what you want. While you're saying 6 and 8, I'm thinking of thousands.
Well, here you
We
go.
bring about what we think about.
When you raise a hair, dress like a turtle. I want people to underestimate me. I don't want them to think that I'm just going like goo goo gaga through the roof. I want people to say, boy, he's not that good. Boy, that's not that exciting. He's not so successful. And let me pass you by when you're wondering why I'm right. I'm dressed. Look,
Exactly.
aren't I dressed like a turtle? Am I not dressed like a turtle?
You know what? You know what I know is that money has no respect of person. Money's not flashy.
No.
Money is what it is. So it doesn't matter if you have on flip-flops or if you have on floor shims. The primary thing is the message from the heart that you bring to change lives.
Exactly.
Sign me up. I want to be. Do you go to church on Sundays?
No. I don't go to church on Sundays. I'll go to church with someone if they ask me, or if when my mom was alive, I would go to church with her.
But you got a doctorate in
Yes.
theology.
Yes.
I want to hear you preach.
Okay.
I want to hear you preach.
Okay.
And I want to hear you preach to my level.
Okay.
Right.
Can she go that
and it
low?
might be over lunch or dinner. Right.
Sounds great.
I don't want it something for the masses. I want it something that I relate to, because your message is so powerful. I want to know it was meant for me.
Sounds good. I'm going to ask you a couple of key questions.
Okay.
And when I ask you the key questions, you're going to tell me those key questions. And then I'm going to open myself up to the higher power and ask the Most High to give me the message so it comes through me right to you, because I really believe that we all have a story. Our story is our power, and our power is our story. When I couldn't walk by myself and couldn't wipe my butt without help, I realized that was a story. God was setting me up for a come up so I could help someone else who people told they would never walk again, so that they could walk again by the power of their belief in themselves. Just like Norman Cousins, the miracle man. I would share those stories with people, and now they're not only walking, they're running, because I worked at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, and it's a center for people who have traumatic brain and spinal injuries. And I met a lot of people there, and only because I shared my story. After a guy named Bruce, his child was there, he said, Lotus, you got to tell people what you do. But I was the captain of security, so I didn't want to commingle. But when I started telling people and sharing my story, guess what? They started walking and they started running. And so I really believe God set me up because I couldn't walk. He prepared me. God the Mother, God the Father prepared me for when I got into that position at the Shepherd Center, so that I could share my story with somebody else that I never thought I would meet. So I know, Bob, you've got a story inside of you, and you've got a story inside of you. And I'm humbled and I'm honored. So I'll do my very best to give to you what the Most High gives to me, through me to you, out to the world. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Generous. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
What did Ed said to us about, what was that thing? That
My
Ed said?
wound is my gift.
My wound is my gift.
Yes, it is.
We just had somebody
The podcast
prior
before him.
on our podcast, and that is his
Tagline,
tagline,
his credo.
Yes. Yes.
my wound is my gift.
Yep. Your story is your
Yeah.
power, and your power is your story. That's what I
Yeah.
say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I
There
love
you
it. I love it.
Plot twist. My story would have a plot twist.
His story would be a nightmare.
That's right.
Anyways, when do we next see you?
So I will be with Brenda on the 11th. We'll be together. Are you coming this way? You really
No.
should. So when would you like to see me? You can come here or I can come there. You
You're
give me
in
a
DC?
date and let's make it happen.
You're
Yes.
in DC.
Yes.
You know, we have a mutual acquaintance in DC. If I go to DC, I'm going to have to see him.
Okay.
I don't want okay. Maybe after the holidays.
You know,
Okay, that sounds fair enough.
He's originally from New York.
Oh, are you? I'm originally from New Jersey.
Yeah, I grew up in White Plains.
I grew up in Passaic.
Not that far away from each other, really.
Nope. Very close.
Wait a
Very
second.
close.
What year were you born?
68.
68. Yeah.
She wouldn't have been in high school with you. I'm sorry.
No.
I would have been in grammar school.
I'm thinking of her mother, maybe.
Yeah.
68. I was junior in high school. So yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So, anyways, it has been a great pleasure.
Definitely.
Oh, my
You
pleasure.
are inspirational. You are accomplished and you are a superstar. And
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to get to know you better.
Yes, and I can't wait to see you. We've got some things going on in Kansas, so I'll definitely be there.
Okay. So
You were saying, Ann?
I said, be careful for what you wish when it comes to meeting him. Just fair warning.
Well, I've met him in person already, and he's a great stand-up guy. He's always looking to do positive things to help people. So
I know.
really looking forward to it.
see,
Really looking forward
there's
to it.
somebody who's seen me knows that I have value. You just think I'm worthless.
I too.
You think I'm old and fat and no juice left. I mean, you just don't think.
I
you
think
just always
very highly of you. Why would I have stuck around all these years?
Exactly.
stuck. The optimum word is stuck. Doctor, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, both of you. Just
Thank
simply amazing. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your love and your light. I